And then everybody, we will go ahead and get started. Really excited for this one. It's been, the last crypto space that I did was more like how to analyze different
Hmm.
cryptos, and we talked about on the kind of like on the chain analysis versus like social sentiment analysis. And I found that really interesting, but it wasn't like, where should I be finding these opportunities? It was more of just like a overall type thing. So, all right, that tweet is now out. Okay,
This will be
let's
fun. This
get.
will be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Mhm.
Del, I'd love to have you kind of even lead things off because you did suggest, a couple of the speakers that are in here.
Yeah,
So it's
and
excited to
I do
have
like
them. And yeah, I'd love to have you just get started with a little bit of your
that.
background in crypto and how you've been, attempting to find new opportunities. And then we'll dive down the rabbit
Oh
hole.
my goodness. So, you guys know, look, that's why Rue is laughing. So, my background in crypto, it didn't come like a lot of you, or maybe, I went the dark way. So, back in like 2013, when crypto was a baby, uh, I started, doing the online gambling and doing some not so good things online with crypto. And that's how I end up finding cryptocurrency, uh, you know, some things on the dark web. But yeah, so that's how I that's how I ended up finding cryptocurrency back in 2013. I actually back then too. I started mining too. I forgot about that. I forgot to say that last time. Mining some Bitcoin. But yeah, that's how I got started. And how do I find new opportunities? Hello, Rue is right there. No, but I connect with smaller accounts. I do. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe some pre-sales. I look for pre-sales or private sales. I like the new crypto, like altcoins that come out, and conversations. Conversations I have with other crypto heads. Uh, that's how I find the new things. What's next? Because, dude, Rue, I found a conversation that we had about Kishu Inu, like early this year, very very early this year. So I find that conversations with people and see what other people are looking at. Um, you know, you find some gems. I'll share that screenshot today too. But yeah, so
Yeah, so
mhm.
I was just going to say, go ahead and share that up there too.
Yeah, I will. I am going to share it. But yeah, so I actually ran into these two. Actually, I ran into tech in the spaces. So talking to people, you find different cool projects like Mooney. You know, um, little small cool projects. Support the community. But yeah, so there it is.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely cool that you've been in it for a while now, several years, not just getting started at this point. And to be able to have you on and then some of the people that you found is great. Also, I can't believe Doll's not at 10K yet. If you're not already following her, if you're one of the 400 people in the space, make sure you're following Doll, an OG of spaces, Twitter, OTCs, a little bit of everything. Okay, so Stock Talk Weekly, I think this is the first space that we are co-hosting together. So I'd love to have you give a little bit of direction to the conversation to start off with. If there's any, topics that you would like to hit on first, and then we'll go to tech and room.
Yeah, I would love to just, ask the speakers as well what, cryptocurrency opportunities right now do they see are the highest upside opportunities in the near term, because I think a lot of the volume we're seeing focused on cryptocurrencies, especially recently, is trading volume. And, that may compromise the long-term narrative of, some crypto maximalists, but in the short term, based on the trends we've seen over the last 5 to 6 months, what are your favorite cryptocurrency opportunities? And just to kind of put y'all on the spot, let's limit it to one, so we can get some real high conviction ideas.
Perfect. Rue, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't mind. How y'all doing, man?
Living
Rue,
the
Oh
dream.
yeah,
okay.
definitely, definitely. I appreciate y'all inviting me to this chat, man. I'm excited to talk about this. Um, and yeah, this is a hot topic. Like things are definitely like switched attention for a lot of folks, and it's really exciting to see so much people starting to adopt the space, and it's so cool. And for me, like the main area for me is metaverse, because metaverse includes everything, crypto, NFTs, it all encompasses into one. So metaverse plays are are at the forefront for me right now, and the ones that execute the best, obviously, we want to focus on the ones that's decentralized. There's a constant debate with Mark Zuckerberg being, the pioneer for onboarding, but you know how us degenerates roll. We don't want to be controlled, so nobody likes that. And right now, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the ones to take over and take its spot. So I'm bullish, super bullish on metaverse right now. That's my top.
No,
So is there I guess Stock Talk Weekly, do you want to dig into that within the metaverse?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just from a general perspective, these metaverse applications are going to get big. It's kind of inevitable because, the Web3 space and cryptocurrencies and NFTs really fit into the mold of, fully immersive, interactive gaming. A point, I don't want to say I'm not a big Gary Vee fan, but, he's a bit crazy at times. But I was watching, an interview with him recently, and he just mentioned, he said, you know, typically the gamers that grew up, like I used to game when I was a kid. I was a big gamer, like I played Call of Duty like my whole life. And, for that generation of gamers, it was this concept of, you get a game, you spend hours and hours on it and build up all your stats and your gear, and then you got to switch over to a new game when a new game comes out, right? What the metaverse is really going to change from a gaming perspective is like, you know, there are going to be net integrated items and code and NFTs and cryptocurrencies that are going to make, these in-game assets transferable and universal. Very soon in the future, you're going to see gaming platforms where, people have NFTs. You can bring them into the game and move them from game to game to game seamlessly, right? Like, this is the future of, for people who've seen Ready Player One, right? Like, that is probably the best film adaptation or rendition of like what the metaverse is intended to be like. People are already, you think about the youth in this country, especially like, kids who are between, 12 and 20 years old, especially, are so immersed in their digital lives, whether it's social media or gaming or, streaming. They're so deeply immersed in their digital lives already. And right now it's just on a screen. What happens when everyone has VR, AR goggles? What happens when everybody, what happens when these price points come down for these technologies, where it's as simple as buying an Apple Watch and you're buying some of these VR, AR technologies? I think it's going to really transform the space. I think it's not only going to drive crypto prices higher. A lot of these games are going to integrate, Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's going to say, hey, for your in-game items, you pay in Ethereum. Instead of the same way we're seeing with NFTs now, right? To buy an NFT, you need to have cryptocurrencies in the vast majority of cases. You're going to see that same revolution in gaming. And then by extension, once the games become realistic enough, they appeal to a broader audience. You're going to have kids playing kid versions of them. You're going to have adults playing adult versions of these immersive games. And that's when you get really global adoption. So I think the metaverse is an amazing thing for crypto and for NFTs in general. I think it's going to like really be a beacon for that movement to go forward, because even if you don't get global adoption in every way, adopting it for the consumer in that way is going to be enough to get millions of people in on it.
100%. If
So,
sorry, Wolf. I just want to add. I have a watch list that you guys, if you don't mind me posting at the top.
yeah, please feel
Yeah,
free to
feel free to
pin at
post
the top.
anything, any of the speakers that you guys want to post at the top.
yeah.
Yeah, feel free.
So I agree with Rue.
And
I'm very bullish on the metaverse and mana and all those other coins. What's up, Tech?
Oh, no, what's happening? What's happening? I was agreeing with Stock. Like early in my days when I was heavy into Xbox One and Xbox Two and PlayStation, and you invest all this time acquiring these unique things that are in the game, And it almost felt like a waste of time after a while, right? Because it's like the new game would come in, and whatever you did didn't carry over, didn't carry forward. And that's definitely one of the key value propositions that I see the metaverse bringing. It's almost like you see with, and gaming is a big part of it. I always bring up gaming because I feel gaming is the true innovator on this planet, and then everything else follows, right? But you're seeing with Xbox and PlayStation all this interoperability right now with games. They're not specific to a console. You can get them anywhere. And then you also have those upsells where you can get that unique thing in that game, but it's getting to the point where it won't be specific to the game, right? The standards of the coding libraries are being shared across the board, right? They're all building off of Unity or the Epic engine, and I'm 100% with what Stock is saying, where you'll be able to have this world or worlds that you can move these assets around and interact with them. There's a lot of value right now. And obviously, as investors and holders, there's a lot of positive speculation as to where this is going. But once the world settles in and this has consumed the earth, as I like to say, just like iPhones consumed the earth, this is going to be an afterthought. This is just going to be the way of life.
Yeah, it's an inevitability. I think I say that a lot with, there's certain industries that are inevitable. Quantum computing, electric vehicles, digital sports books, the space sector. These are inevitable industries. This is like, no matter what happens, they're going to take over. Crypto is one of those industries. It's just a matter of time. So, you might be early, different people are going to be different degrees of early, right? But, saying you're early on a trend really only depends on how big the curve is, right? I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 500K, people who were calling it expensive at 60K will be mad at themselves, and will be that's the thing, is like, it's all relative. Like, I've owned Tesla as an example since 2016. People were telling me to sell it in 2017. People were telling me to sell it in 2018. People were telling me to sell it in 2019. They're like, the company's overvalued. How much higher can it go? Stock rips 1,000% in a year. So it's the same thing. It's all sentiment driven. Like, there's enough sentiment behind crypto now. There's enough corporations accepting it. Square and Tesla are putting it outright on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy has gone from a tech software company to basically a pure Bitcoin exposure overnight. And, when you have this many billions of dollars being poured in by massive corporations to fund the adoptability and, the usability of these tokens, that to me is kind of an unstoppable trend. It's really a train you can't stop. Will there be volatility in Bitcoin and Ethereum and those things and every other crypto asset? Yeah, of course. But, the volatility is really just part of the ride.
Facts. So I'm gonna touch on what you just said, right? Throughout the years, because I've been, dabbling in it for so long, you had people say, "Oh, well, this is just a fad. This will be over," and then you had the really large dips, and again they rally again. They say crypto is just a fad, and it came back. So just saying that to say, I don't think it's a fad. I think we're here for the long run. You know what I'm saying? I think, like you said, big larger companies adopting crypto. Necessarily, do I agree with it? It feels like centralization, but you know, I mean, everybody's adopting it, and maybe could become our new currency in the next 50 years. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. And like, since we're talking about adoption, I'm sorry if you had something to say, Wolf. I just wanted to add on this. For the adoption, like, you can see that the government is even expecting mass adoption for crypto very soon. Just with this bill, like, they're seeing that people want this and want this to be a reality, no matter what the bill says. But they're expecting this to be a global thing, and it's inevitable, like everybody else is saying. This is just a new way. Like, it just makes everything easier, and it just makes so much sense. And we're at the beginning stages, so just imagine what else can come, like, within the next 5 years.
There's a painting out there that I feel is the analogy to what crypto is, and I don't know if you guys seen it, where it's like a bunch of rich, but it's like a few rich guys playing a table game and there's a few people underneath the table supporting it, right? And I feel like that's what crypto is, that decentralization. It's a system that isn't dependent on an overseer controlling it, right? And the government and the power and some of the powers that be in banking are trying to, contain it, but it isn't something that can be contained, right? And it truly is, because we don't need oversight with crypto. It's something that trades, 24/7, 365, even on the leap year. So it's almost like the kettle is burning and it's about to spill all that water over. And that's the feel I get from crypto, from decentralization. That is something that humanity as a whole is uplifting. Obviously, anything always starts with one entity or a group of entities, being that spark plug to start it up. But the way crypto and decentralization and blockchain is designed is once you turn that match on, there isn't anyone to stop it as long as there's adoption and people believe in it. And I feel we're at a crossroads right now, and both roads lead to blockchain. You see Coinbase, the public IPO. You see the what was it, the Bitcoin ETF that was recently approved, and throughout all of this progress, you still see media, trying to contain it and scaring people away from it. But like anything that's of quality that humanity loves, and I said it earlier, it's going to consume the earth. It's just a matter of time. It hasn't been like crypto's been contracting over time. It's actually being expanding every day.
100%. Two quick things that I want to say. So I got a couple DMs of people asking, can they ask questions? And 100%. So I just put out a tweet from the Golf Blacksburg account that is the co-host up here. And I just asked, what questions would you like to ask? And you can feel free to go ahead and comment those questions on that tweet. That'll be easier than going into my DMs because I have too many DMs to get through right now. So please just go ahead and put those on the tweet. That would be best. And then I wanted to go back also to real quick and follow up on Stock Talk Weekly's question, because I thought that the metaverse was a great answer for an area, but I'd love to get into some more of the specifics, names as to where the opportunity is. So are there specific metaverse plays that stand out to you, Rue? And then I'd love to go to tech to talk about the Mooney decentralized mining that you're working with. Oh, and also Christine, you should come up and chill with
I
us on the
was just
speaker
about
panel.
to say,
Yeah, she over there trying
Mom.
to hide. We
Mom
see
is here.
you.
Hey. Gang. Get up here, Christine.
So, yeah, well, just to answer that, yeah, I have so much plays, it's insane. And I did put together a few things, to kind of give some perspective on, what kind of quality projects you want to look into. For me, obviously, like I said, the metaverse is the main focus for me. And in my sorry, in my watch list, you'll see that I have a whole bunch of metaverse plays that I feel as more adoption comes and more people start using it and it becomes more mainstream, you'll see a lot of these lower ends become an opportunity in the future, right? And so people will start understanding kind of what the metaverse is, and they'll see more value in a lot of these plays. So for me, my main one is Axie Infinity, just because it's the most widely adopted one right now. So staking for that is very sustainable. It's a high price right now, but that's not what I'm looking at it as right now. Not necessarily, price wise, just what can come in the future. So I'm definitely keeping that one on the top of my radar. And my two favorites are Decentraland and the Sandbox. And the Sandbox, I feel like is not really downplayed anymore, but it's getting a lot of hype. And I like that one the most just because of they haven't even got to a point where they've released anything yet. And actually, I need to make a post because they just made a post about their next phases, and I'm gonna post that in a little bit. But Sandbox is definitely my top out of all of my selections. So, and just for anybody that isn't really familiar with the metaverse, the Sandbox is basically a virtual world where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming experiences on the Ethereum blockchain. So you'll use the token Sand as the utility within the game. All right, so you make purchases, etc. And it helps sustain the growth of the game. Kind of like if you just take a look at Roblox, Minecraft, stuff like that. It's the same type of graphics, but a lot of big brands like Snoop Dogg, big names are adopting it, and they are starting to like become more mainstream. So I see that as being a huge opportunity. So yeah, I'm gonna post that at the top so people can have a link towards it. Another one for me, again, like I said, Decentraland is another huge winner for me. It's been running for probably the last few days. Actually did a really good dip for people to get in. So I wish we had this conversation a lot earlier, but hey, it's still time to me personally. But because again, a lot of people don't know. They're still learning about the metaverse. They're still trying to see, and normally the ones that have been here for a while are going to be the ones that people adopt first. So they're going to use Decentraland because most people know about it, most people on it, and they've had numerous accomplishments within their actual metaverse, like throwing events with big name brands. And I see that one being a very front runner in the near future. So
Appreciate that. Yeah,
yes.
Oh, sorry. I had been hearing a lot about Axie Infinity, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, I don't know how far y'all want me to go because I have a whole list, and I don't want to just keep on blabbing, but I have a lot of different metaverse plays, but those two right there are my favorite. Well, those three, but as far as affordable for everyone right now is Decentraland and Sandbox.
Perfect. Also, I also got this a couple times in the DMs. In case you're listening to the space and you're like, wow, this is really good info, don't worry. It is being recorded. I actually think that there's, yeah, so I know Angie from Black Box Stocks is in here. I think at Wade Stonks is in here too. But no worries, everyone. This will be recorded. I post all the recordings. Post Stock Talk Weekly. Hey,
You
hey.
vacuuming Stock Talk?
Yeah, he's Stock Talk Weekly.
You vacuuming your keyboard?
Oh
Go ahead
God.
and mute him real quick.
All right.
He's vacuuming his
Okay.
keyboard. You know how you
Okay.
vacuum the crumbs out of your
Uh,
keyboard?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
He's
he's
sucking up all
sucking
the
cock.
coins. That's what he's doing.
He's
Okay. Okay. And just
All the
okay,
coins.
and for anybody that wants to access recordings, it's a link in my bio. I have links to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, to YouTube. I upload them to all. So that's where you can find those afterwards. So just in case anybody wants to go back, they're like, "Oh, I heard one of those names. I didn't hear the other two." You can go back to it afterwards. I'll try to have it up by tomorrow. Okay, Tech. I wanted to go over to you to hear a little bit more about your project that you're working on.
Definitely. So, man, where do I start? Where do I start? You want the brief history of how we started on Twitter? You
Yeah,
want to just
let's
get
yeah,
into?
a few minutes on it. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so X Mooney, we started on Ethereum June 12th. It was a project that I really didn't give much thought. It was something that I don't know if you guys know David Goxstein. I follow David Goxstein, but he was holding pitch spaces on Twitter around he's always holding pitch spaces, but this was around May time period, and just something came over me and decided to go up there and pitch something that didn't exist, and I got pretty good feedback. My history, I'm a crypto investor. I'm a full stack developer. I've been developing now for over 20 years. I was a developer for the Marine Corps, so I know my way around the tech. And I'm a miner as well. And I was just thinking of, well, what can we do with what you have, right? I'm a resourceful person. What can we do? And that day, the brand Mooney came alive, and we started on Ethereum blockchain. We had a pretty good one of those moonshot hot starts that everyone dreams of, and then we settled out. This was my first cryptocurrency that I've ever started, I've ever led. So there was a lot of learning, and started out with just me, and I started getting the community involved. And right now we're at 70, close to 70 decentralized miners, miners across the world, Europe, United States, Caribbean, uh, and yeah. So, man, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. I'm trying to summarize it. Little butterflies right now being on the stage. But we
Oh.
migrated to Binance Smart Chain. Migrated to Binance Smart Chain September 3rd, and the reason we did that was, or Ethereum is tough for a grassroots movement from a cost perspective, right? Especially when you're trying to uh, make tokens available at under a penny price, and your community is getting raked over the coals for gas fees. I'm a big Ethereum believer. It's just not for every project. So we migrated to Binance Smart Chain. Currently, we're mining Ethereum at close to 6 gigahash. We just started mining Bitcoin 2 weeks ago, actually on the anniversary of Satoshi releasing the Bitcoin white paper, which was purely coincidental. And now we're on Binance Smart Chain. We have close to 4 billion tokens circulating. The max supply is 21 billion. We have a high halving cycles and all that good stuff. But the key to X Mooney, we rebranded as X Mooney when we moved over to Binance Smart Chain. It's a purely organic project, right? There's no fake accounts in our Discord. There's none of this shilling. It's really about educating people, letting them know what we're doing, the mechanics of how Mooney works. And so far, we're close to 3,000 holders. Like I mentioned before, we're a few miners short of 70. Uh, and the plan is to continue to grow our mining operation, even get into proof of stake node validators. And the essence of it is, right, if you read the white paper on X Mooney, one of the key things I touch on initially is that there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are purely speculative on investors buying and selling, right? And there is no injection of liquidity that's coming from outside sources. So the linchpin that I feel makes Mooney different is that at all times there are miners mining for the network, and that value is then transferred through sales and buys and actual adding to liquidity. So it's almost a peace of mind token. I wouldn't call it a stable coin because we're not pegged to a dollar, but it's pretty stable in that there's always value being extracted from various points on the blockchain or various blockchains. And it's something that we continue to grow, we continue to expand on. And I think the key difference between what X Mooney is doing and a lot of other meme projects that are out there is that we're taking it a day at a time. We're not rushing to exorbitant amount of metrics or stats that are fictitious just to attract investors. And it's working so far, right? Like I said, we started less than 6 months ago. It's going to be 6 months in December. And now we're at a point where we're close to 200K in liquidity. And we continue to grow. And there's some big investors on the outside looking in and seeing what we're doing. Our chart is very predictable. It looks like we're always consolidating, but that's due to the release of supply and the steady stream of value coming in from the mining operations.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think that the account is as well in the crowd and has been retweeting a bunch of stuff, so people can go and check that out too.
Definitely.
Okay, so Gerg, I know you have a comment, and then I know Stacky Robinson over here and Stock Market News both have as well. So Gerg, go ahead.
Yeah, so right now you have too many cryptos in the market. Anyone can go and make a crypto. So to prove that, I spent 15 minutes and made one crypto, and it hit 7 billion in half an hour. So don't believe anything you see on Twitter. Any random guy can go make a crypto. So other thing is, so my biggest position in crypto right now is CRO. So CRO
Yay!
is the native token for crypto.com. So right now it's the fastest and the quickest going exchange percentage wise. So they had 10 million in January and they are on track to double the user base by December. So when you go and use the platform is decent, but to get better rates, to get better margins, to get better percentages, you need to buy CRO and stake that. So, for example, when I signed up, I put the $50,000 to get the debit card they offer, and with that, you have to lock that for 6 months. So that is basically logged out. So almost 90% of all CROs will be logged out. And as new buyers come in, they have to buy that, but the sellers aren't there, right? When you stake that, you can't sell that for 6 months. So let's see if you go and buy the card, debit card they offer, the metal one, you put up 500,000 or 50,000, but you get paid 8% cash back for Spotify, Netflix, other stuff too. Plus, they pay you 12% a year. That's more than the S&P 500. So other thing you get with staking is you can go and stake your USDC and your other stable coins, and they pay you 14% a year. This is almost 100% more than the competitors. So even to get the loan out, you get better rates. So with crypto.com, you can go and stake your crypto because when you sell them, let's say you bought Bitcoin 10 years back. If you go and sell it, you will be taxed. But if you want to take the money against that, you can just go and stake that and take a loan against that. Even with that, when you stake the CRO token, you get more back. And same thing as you staking up, providing liquidity. So if you go and stake all of your crypto, you might only make 6, 7, 8%. But if you own certain amount of CRO, you make double or triple that. And just before that, they have a partnership with UFC, Formula One. They did the big campaign, I think, with Star Wars. I think they have Ninja, and they have something to do with, I think, Fortnite and Twitch. So they're already integrating in the metaverse. And look at the domain, though, right? They own the best domain, crypto.com. When new people come and find about crypto, this is where they will go. And the first thing they go and they go there and do is buy a CRO to get better rates. Why wouldn't you spend $500 and get the metal card? Stake that, you get free Netflix, free Spotify, free Amazon Prime, free lounge access, and 3 or 4% back with the normal card. The one card I got with them, they pay you 8% back. No other bank does that. Even if you go and buy the Amex Platinum and Gold, the max you get is 3 or 4%. So with that, you basically get 10% back. So personally, I do
Mhm.
have a big long position, and I think we might double or triple from here. As you don't only benefit from the adoption of crypto, you benefit from the main exchange, right? You don't have to bet like it's buying the main guy. You can't like you let's see the volume on crypto.com goes up, but any like you can't say what crypto will go up next. Could be Bitcoin, Ethereum, even chip. These guys offer all of them. These guys make money on transactions. So as crypto gets more accepted, more people start to use that, crypto.com will make more money. They will get more users. And in return, more people will buy CRO and stake that. Instead, like it's the same thing. Instead of betting on the stock, bet on the exchange. Like the house always wins. Even if crypto goes to zero, a lot of people will start to sell that, but CRO still will be staked because you can't sell it for 6 months. So basically, the selling pressure is almost completely gone. That's why you see massive runs on this. Because the people can't sell, right? They go and stake it because you make more money this way. You can keep it open, but you only make 2 or 3%. But if you go lock it for 3 or 6 months, they give you 14%. So
I'm a big fan of
Mhm.
crypto.com. You know, I believe in the,
Mhm.
you know, the Crow coin, CRO coin. Like he is right. You know, from a centralized exchange, they offer a lot of staking options. I even stake some of my Bitcoin, and then they pay you out at like what, like 6%.
yeah, no,
So
no. So I am
regardless,
staked to the max. I have crypto.com private. It's like like the upgrade they have. I make almost 14% almost on my crypto.
yeah, no, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, my only thing with them, I'm not a fan of their buying and selling. So I tend to buy on Coinbase Pro
No, even with
due to
that,
the
right?
better
So when you
fees,
join crypto,
and then transfer over.
so if you join crypto.com private, you can do OTC trades. You text the customer support, they get you a better order than the market price. Like the support is pretty good. Like even yesterday, they offered me tickets to Bitcoin Miami for free. Like if you are good with them, I think it's the best exchange to have.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gur. once. Crow is amazing. Yeah, I love Crow. And I think I talked to you about it for a brief second. But yeah, Crow is my favorite. Just like he said, I mean, you pretty much said everything in the commercial you just did. So, you know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go and buy right now. It's up
hmm
like 150%
Oh
on the
yeah.
week.
Yo, Gerg,
So
how
Oh
much did they
yeah.
pay you, Gerg?
Yeah.
they paid me. So okay, CRO I'm up to
Mhm.
50%. So that's what they paid me in CRO. Like CEO's up, like it's up to 100%. So
No,
I
I'm
can't
just joking. No, I'm
complain.
just joking. Staking your crypto is a smart idea. Sorry about the vacuum earlier, guys. I have maids over, so I didn't even realize that my
Yeah.
mic was unmuted. Well, because I
No,
walked back, I was walking to the other
he
room.
was doing coke with the vacuum. Don't lie.
Yeah. with the
you
vac-
see you see how Stock
oh
Talk
my
put
god.
his pinky up real quick? Yeah, my maids were over.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I didn't mean
Yeah.
it like that either.
Yeah,
Jeez.
my
Yeah,
maids were
I'm just catching myself now. I'm gonna mute my mic again.
over.
No, no, no. So okay, so I want to get to the two other speakers, but to respond to what Gerg just said, great point. I have some CRO sitting in there from people that I've referred that I've never really used crypto.com myself, but I guess it's appreciated. It's probably worth, I don't know, a couple $100. I didn't know that they offered that 14% staking. I hear it's with the excess premium. Sounds like you have to have a certain amount in there.
Yeah, so with
Um,
that,
I
you have to spend $50,000 to get the and stake it for 6 months. That's how you get the better rates.
Okay. Wow. All right. I'm not quite in that position right now. But I do love crypto staking, and I find that there's great ways. I crypto stake mainly through outlet finance, which I find pretty good. They give 9% APY and they make it like super simple. Like you don't even have to deal with buying crypto or anything. You basically just treat it like a bank account and they stake it for you. And then I also do it through FTX that does 8%. I think it's up to 8%. I don't know. It's like a little bit funky with what they do. So those are two of my favorite, but great points for anyone that's in the audience. If you're kind of like new to crypto and the most questions I'm getting, and by the way, for anyone that's requesting to speak, I do want to give my planned speakers the time. I did reach out to them ahead of time, give them this. That's why I haven't brought anybody up. I did put out a tweet from the Golf Blacksburg account. If you have a question, feel free to go ahead, drop it right in there. If there's something that you want to say, we're happy to take those questions. But that I am reserving this time right now for the planned speakers. And but the crypto staking can be a really powerful tool, and it's not that difficult to learn. And you can stake a lot of different ones. Honestly, YouTube very simple to learn how to crypto stake. And the fact that I keep about a third of my money staked, and that's earning 9%. That's nice on the down days in the market. Okay, so Evan, I know you had a point, and then I want to go back to Miss Stacky Robinson.
Yeah. The only thing I really wanted to say and throw out there with this is, first of all, I am really long on crypto and all this stuff for the long term. I'm really bullish on it. Ethereum is currently my largest holding. So just some context before I go into this, but just quickly, like with the metaverse, like this is still a theme that is a couple of years away. We're still in the very, very early building block stages of it, and Facebook is just starting to put a lot of money into it, or has been for a little bit, but they're going to start investing $10 billion, and it's become a really hot topic. But I think when it will be a couple of years until we see the real metaverse. So all these applications that are being built for it right now, they're not going to really have much to do until the full metaverse is here. So really the point that I'm getting at here is when I look back at Bitcoin and crypto, it's done the same thing over time. It's a bull and bear cycle type thing. It's very cyclical. Over time, the bull markets have had higher highs, and the bear markets have had higher lows. And I see this trend continuing. For me right now, we're in this bear market, and I'm not here to call top, and I'm not here to call anything like that, because anyone who does that is stupid and has absolutely no idea. We could keep ripping 2x, 3x, or whatever. But the point
This is the top. I call the top here.
I'll let Gerg do that. We saw what happened with Lucid. But but yeah, the point that I really want to make at is that I do see I think that the past, what's happened the last 5 times, should at least be the base case for what you see going forward. And for me, I feel like there is going to be a crypto bear market coming at some point. Who knows when, who knows how long. And I do think coming out of it will be stronger and there will be another bull market that we reach higher highs. But I do think that whatever you're buying right now, just make sure you're not buying just on price. You're buying on an underlying conviction that when a crash or anything like that does happen, if it does happen, you're sitting there wanting to buy more, not necessarily wanting to sell out and hate yourself or whatever. And it's totally okay to not get into the right project right this second and, you know, change around and do whatever there, but just don't let the price be your sole level of conviction. The real winners, the real gainers are going to be the people who first hold it through bear markets and we get into a bull market, and also the people who are deploying more money in those bear markets.
That's great advice.
Yeah, the best time to buy is definitely when the sentiment is low. We've seen that time and time again. I love those posts when it's like when like Bitcoin was getting beaten down to like 27, 28K, and some people were posting, they were like, all right, everybody on, Twitter has given up on Bitcoin. I'm gonna buy now. Like that often is the best time. I think it's just been statistically proven in so many cases. Okay, let's keep the ball
Hey,
rolling. Thanks
one
to
quick
Duke.
non-crypto related question, Wolf. Gerg, how is the Lucid short going?
My max was 45, so anything above 45, I'm flat. I only make money sub 35.
Is it for anyone else, or is it just me that sees the laughing emoji stuck over Gerg's face?
Is it?
Just
Oh
you, sir.
man.
Oh, okay. On
Screenshot
my
it.
screen? Oh,
Screenshot it.
oh, it's gone now. It was
That
just
looks like
stuck
the
on his
Michael
face.
Jordan crying face to me, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Who's
it is.
Michael
It is.
Jordan? Is he a lucid short too?
Like he might be short, lucid.
I don't know if he's short lucid, but he's made plenty of bad business decisions.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have to agree with
Including
you.
buying the Hornets. Why the fuck would you buy the Hornets?
no, dude, he bought the fucking Bobcats.
Yes.
They
They
were the
weren't even the
Bobcats when he
Hornets
bought
yet.
them, that's true.
Yo,
yeah.
he made $1 billion off the Hornets. What are you talking about, man?
I mean, but he could have bought a better franchise. I mean, why pick them?
He went to UNC and he also made $1 billion off the Hornets. That's all I need to know.
We got a Jordan fan.
But you
Who isn't a Jordan fan? What?
Okay.
Hey, I like Jordan.
Jordan's all right.
All right.
What?
All right. Stacky Robinson.
Oh man.
Going to you, and then I'm going to go and hit Duke and Bill.
Wait, where are you going to me for?
You had your hand up
No.
beforehand.
I was just talking about Decentraland. So we can go back to Decentraland. Christine, I'm sure Christine is the reason Mana went berserk that day, because she went on like a Decentraland a Decentraland binge for like 6 days and dragged everybody with her. So I'm sure she's the reason for the Mana rally.
It's funny you say that, Stacky, because when you guys were talking about Mana that day, and she said she was getting on, there was a price surge.
I swear, and
So you sticking to
I
it?
swear.
Tech, literally, soon as she said she's going there, I swear half the land was bought up. You just seen the Decentraland land bot just going nuts. I'm like, dang, Christine was not playing no games. She's ready to buy everything.
I know if we listen. Okay, so there's a party coming next month in Decentraland. So buy up the Mana. Slap up my Mana shares for me, please. Right, Christine?
I'd like to announce that.
Yo, how do you short decent? How do I short this?
So how do you short it?
How do you short it? Yeah.
You can get on FTX and short it, man.
What
FTX
were you
is
announcing,
banned
Christine?
in Ontario. Like you can't go there.
Wait, what you say, Christine?
Yeah, what were you announcing?
I already almost forgot, but I was going to announce that Christie's is having an auction, a Banksy auction, I think later this week on Decentraland. So
yes.
Hopefully you guys can come.
So they're selling the Constitution, right? Or is that Sotheby's?
Right.
Different things.
Yes.
Okay, getting my wires crossed. Christine, welcome to the party. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just Christine. Yeah, Christine. Give us a little bit of background about your Decentraland journey and how.
What?
and how.
Buy Mana. I'm just kidding. So I don't know. I feel like the next big rush is metaverse. I don't know how anyone else feels, and I'm exploring it. I think there's going to be a lot of even career opportunities in the metaverse. And I was saying, I think I commented it on Wolf's Financials post. I was like, there's going to be metaverse concierge jobs, and I want to be a realtor in Decentraland so I could show people properties, whatever. It's going to be cool, guys.
Mhm.
You don't have to believe me, but it is.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite answers on that post, along with Stock Talk Weekly and Stock Market News, who said that they would have Twitter
There
interns.
you go.
That was the post was what jobs have not been created yet, but will be in the future. So if anybody's interested, feel free to drop some tasteful comments on that one.
Tasteful. Yeah.
Tasteful. Oh man.
Tasteful. I like
Wait.
tasteful. Real quick, but
Mhm.
before I go over to Duke, if you're chilling with us in the audience, one of 600 plus, and you like cryptocurrency, this panel are the people that you should be following. Uh, Basically, everyone up here is like always on spaces. I know Rue, Tech, Stacky, Christine, part of the OTC Club, part of the Mooney Project. They're chatting it up all day on these crypto spaces. Stock Talk Weekly, Stock Market News, or Gavin, myself, kind of leaning into all different areas of investing. Bill and Chad, big into crypto NFTs in different areas. So really, I would say an elite speaker panel right here for this topic. And if you're enjoying, definitely go ahead and throw them the follow. They take the good of their hearts and free time and they throw it towards this for no payment. And I am grateful to them for doing that. Okay, Duke, rolling over to you. Thoughts right now on opportunities in crypto. If you had to put your money in crypto, where's it going?
Yeah, so actually, I think this question is actually is quite vague, but I really actually want to focus on, and I apologize for being late, but I actually want to focus on maybe getting a job in crypto. I think that might be helpful too. So I think like any,
McDonald's is in
I'm
crypto,
sorry.
man.
Yep.
No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
no, what I was just going to say is I think like any industry really, connections are obviously huge for getting a job. I think it's really difficult now with how competitive everything is, to get a job cold. So just applying on LinkedIn, etc., is really difficult. But I think if you can create connections, I think that'll be the best way you get a job in any industry. But I think more so in crypto, maybe even NFTs as well. I think the way that you can create connections is so much quicker, through so many different avenues like Twitter, Discord. I mean, people can name off any platform that they choose to focus on, but yeah, you can really connect really quickly. I was just talking with Bill on Discord not too long ago. I think I'm going to be getting back into Discord, but like that's how you can really make quick connections. I'm sure Gerg, a bunch of these other guys up here can tell you, and women as well can tell you how quick you can make connections. So if you see someone on this panel, that I don't know, you think could have something in crypto or NFTs, just make a connection with them, and then just slowly over time continue to build that connection. I don't know, ask if they need anything, see if they're looking for an open position. That's what I would say would work really well. And then as well as looking online to see if a certain company is hiring, and then instead of just directly hiring on their page, like DMing one employee on Twitter that you could possibly find. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of different things you can do, but I would say finding a job in crypto, plenty of companies are hiring, plenty of people have the money, and Twitter and Discord, I think, are probably going to be some of your best bets, as well as maybe Telegram.
Yeah, it's a great place to network for sure. If you can put together an interesting DM that explains who you are, what you're trying to look for, you can be really successful within the networking area, especially within crypto. I started this account about 13 months ago with 0 followers, and it's been an amazing journey just networking. Now it's my full-time job is literally being on Twitter all day. Thank you, Wolf, for paying for that. But with that being said, I completely agree with you, Chad. I want to keep it rolling a little bit. Okay, Evan, I think that you had a comment.
Yeah, no. So I know you do so many of these spaces. I was on an earlier one before, and I heard you talking quickly about some calendar or something you had. I was wondering if there was some more stuff with that, or if I heard incorrectly.
Well, yeah, since you bring it up, let's mention the calendar real quickly. And this was awesome because we broke through almost 900 people on this today. So if you're in this space, listen up because this is definitely the thing for you. Essentially, what Evan and I have done a little bit of work on as a Google Spaces calendar dedicated towards Twitter Spaces. So I'm doing over 10 spaces a week. Again, I'm lucky. It's my full-time job. I'm blessed. And with a lot of the speakers up here and then a lot more. And I was just like, how can we even keep track of all these spaces that are happening, right? I'm doing 3 today, 4 tomorrow, another 2 on Thursday. It's like, when are these like even happening? And I can't put out that many tweets saying like, this is how I do one every Sunday, but it can't just be completely repetitive. So we created a free Google Calendar that anybody can be added to. All you have to do is just DM me your email and ask be added to the calendar, preferably a Gmail, but it works with anything. And I will go ahead and add you tonight to the calendar. That way you will be able to simply toggle on and off and see when all the spaces are. And I started adding in the speakers ahead of time on the calendar as well. So you can see literally what the space is, when it's happening, who's speaking, and you can really plan out your week because this is free education. I mean, like tomorrow I have the inventor, the creator of one of the most widely used technical analysis tools, the anchored VWAP, coming on a space. And we're just going to pelt him with like stocks and he's going to chart them for us. So there's like a ton of value. And then on Thursday, we've got an NFT space with Benzinga. I think Christine's going to be on that, and some others. So just like so much going on. So I see DMs coming in now. I love to see it. Just go ahead and DM me your email and I will add you to it tonight. And then if you also want to be on the Wolf newsletter or the Bullish Rippers newsletter, that sponsors a lot of my spaces, would love to have you on those either. Also, and everything's free. We're not trying to take your money here. Just trying to provide education because a lot of people like don't get it, and so many of my friends do not have financial backgrounds, and they started tuning into my spaces. Like I have a friend, I hope he's on here right now. He drives trucks for a living, and now he's tuning into spaces and trading and getting a financial education. So that's what it's all about. But I don't want to preach too much. Let's
I
keep it
just wait
rolling.
before you do it. I just want to reiterate for 1 second. The Spaces calendar that I'm going to say we, but it's pretty much all Gav has created. It is one of the best things and most powerful things we've done and put together. If you enjoy Spaces, which clearly you do, you're in here, and you want to see more of them, that's like a must. A must. You have to be on a go to. So just when you do send him an email, a DM, you could send it to me as well if you want. Just make sure your email is in there as well to expedite the process as much as possible. But yeah, thank you, Gav.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, Bill, I'm going to you to get your thoughts on opportunities in crypto, and then Stock Talk Weekly. I want to throw it back to you for any direction with the conversation. And also, really cool thing. 2 days ago, somebody who works at Twitter Spaces DM me their email and asked me on that calendar. So you know that shit's working. All right, Bill, going to you.
Yo, so I was in a really cool space earlier today actually with it was with Gary V, Drifter, and a few other big like the World of Women founder and like I just want to say like spaces is something that you should be doing regularly if you're looking to further your education in crypto. Just because like I've seen in the last like at least year or so, a lot of Twitter has moved to kind of just like shit posts, and like a lot of the education part of crypto has actually moved onto Discord and Spaces. It's actually pretty crazy. I've been on crypto Twitter for about 5 years now. Mostly it used to be pretty small, like a couple thousand people. Recently it's gotten way bigger, so a lot of the communities are moving not on Twitter, and Twitter is kind of just becoming like the town hall. So if you really want to learn more, you have to go on Spaces and you have to go on Discord into different Discords and like go in and then explore and like kind of just like get your feet wet because this is the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit of skin in the game never hurt. And you, of course, nowadays more than ever, don't have to have that much money to be invested, right? You can stake a freaking dollar. I don't know how much it'll make you, but you can go that way. And then, right, with like things like a lot of these cryptos, they're very inexpensive and you can buy fractional shares. So I completely agree with you. You'll never really pay attention to something and attempt to learn unless there's some type of cost, some type of repercussion if you don't. That's what I found. Like if you're in college, like when I was in college, I was a finance major. I wanted to learn how to code. I knew I was never going to do it in my free time. So I made myself go and take coding classes because then I was like, okay, the professor can fail me if I don't give a shit. So when you're here, like if you find a crypto that you found interesting, maybe you listen to this and you're like, okay, Axie Infinity or something else. Like if you can, allocate a small portion or something, you will then be much more highly motivated to go ahead and do that. Now, Stacky Robinson, going to you, and then back to you, Stock Talk Weekly.
Yeah, I see Rue posted up top the crypto starter pack. Rue created this. This is this the same crypto starter pack that you created for our group, our crypto group?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Rue created this for our group, and he did a small class on how to get started in crypto, and that went really good. It was really fun on our crypto sleepover. But if you go ahead and check that out up there, yeah, we had a crypto sleepover in our crypto rooms, and we do different fun things in there. But yeah, so up top was the Google Docs, and I had a question for Bill. Hey, Bill, how many Discord rooms do you belong to? Because I know I have like 300 of them dedicated to crypto and
Man, okay.
NFTs. Oh
So
my
like
God.
I go into three main ones. The Unusual Whales Discord, which is also always go, but that's mostly for like equities. There's a Discord called The One. I forget who runs it, but that is what I go to for like NFTs and stuff. And then another one that I'm usually going to, but not all the time, is kind of just like my regular NFT, like the like specific NFTs that I'm into. Like, so I'm part of the Pudgy Penguins clan. I'm in there all the time, just chatting with people, and that's how I kind of make connections with other people. And like, it's like some of my friends that I'm in the Pudgy Penguins with, that I'm now working with professionally. So it's like it's a good connection tool. Like, what about you, Jackie? Like, what are you in?
So, World of Women, Women with Weapons, anything dedicated to women. Those are my favorite NFTs. So, I'm in a lot of those. I'm in Unusual Whales also. I'm in a lot of OTC Discords. One of my favorites, OTC Method. I'll shout him out in every episode of any
When is the
spaces.
OTC Club Discord coming?
Ooh, interesting. We did talk about starting something like that, like a little backstage area for people to talk during our spaces. So maybe soon. Who knows?
Can I ask something in here?
No.
I I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
go for
on.
it, Greg. I'm just gonna go for it. One of my problems with Discord whenever I go into these servers is I get about 500 private messages joining all these random servers or whatever. Is there any way to like stop that, or is that just part of the
Yeah,
course
yeah,
of
you
Yeah,
can
being?
turn it off.
there's one way, but you have to ban all of the messages. You can't like sort them out. It's like all or nothing.
You
Yeah,
have to ban all open
it's all,
DMs.
mhm. It's all or nothing, and if you block it, you prevent yourself from being verified in the channel. So it's a double edged sword.
So I was talking to the team at Discord, and this is the top priority for now. This is the main goal right now, to eliminate all spam. So if you go on Discord now, you would notice the reports as spam button that wasn't there before for new messages. But that's the main goal right now.
So we
So
have
I have
you
a
to thank for that, huh?
yeah, you can. But I have a question. So I just shared my crypto portfolio on top. Could you guys please review that? I need some feedback.
Bro. It's
Looks good
complete
to
shit.
me. Looks
Looks
like
common.
yeah, it looks like a bunch of rug pulls. There you go. Have
Now don't
fun.
call them
Look,
rug
Uh,
pulls,
look,
I think. This will take me out of the
looks
hood.
rare.
Bro, I don't see pump coin in there, man. What happened?
Pumpcorn, I'm all in pumpcorn, so I mean I own 99.99% of the outstanding coins, so but
Getting in now.
I
yeah, should I
I am
diversify though? How's
laughing
my
over
portfolio
here.
looking the Elon coin, Safe Moon?
Looks good. Looks good.
All right. With with knowing that Pumpcoin is safe in my 401k, bringing it back around. First off, so excited to see this audience that we have in here, and especially I see a ton of large figures in the gaming world, in the NFT world. I love the overlap that can be seen between these different industries. And big shout out to my guy Iron Mike, who's in the audience. Love to see you here, buddy. Feel free to come up if you'd like. Okay, Stock Talk Weekly. Refocusing, throw it back to you because you had a great start to the conversation. We've gotten everybody a little bit involved. Are there any other topics, in relation to the main topic of opportunities in crypto that you would want to go down?
Yeah, something I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm not as exposed to crypto as I want to be. I have about 17% of my, invested wealth in it. So, that's not, I mean, I think it's decent exposure. It's close to 20% of my portfolio. But, you know, from my perspective, one thing I've noticed, just as an equities trader And, I still prefer trading stocks. I probably always will, just because there's a lot more data available, for decision making. And that, for me, I prefer. But, I want to get more exposed to crypto. But one thing I think that a lot of people who are in crypto are maybe overlooking is these Bitcoin mining stocks. So, a week ago, or not only Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin and a variety of other, tokens that some of them are mining. But about a week ago, I tweeted just a quick, brief comparison tweet where I just showed the Bitcoin chart, over 1 year versus the Mara chart over 1 year. And obviously a lot of factors went into that, right? Mara was trading at a base and those companies hadn't been valued properly. And, Bitcoin was really sentiment driven and adoption driven. And so, I'm not saying that they're directly comparable, right? But the charts looked very similar. If you look at the Mara chart and look at the Bitcoin chart, the charts look very similar, but Mara returned 3,000%, while Bitcoin returned 300%. I think that these exposures are going to become better performing assets than a lot of the underlying cryptocurrencies. And as crypto gets more adopted and, gets more, more currencies get more liquidity, you're going to see more of these miners focused on producing other types of cryptocurrency. And right now, the juncture that we're in, like, BitF is a company that I'm in, and not to shill the company, but, to me, it's the best Bitcoin miner on the market outside of XBDI, which I don't think XBDI will get the proper reaction until DSPAC. But, all of that put aside, looking at BitF and looking at the earnings they posted a slight revenue miss, which, some people panicked about initially. But if you look at the numbers these companies are able to produce, right? They're growing revenue most of the miners are growing revenue between 300 to 500% year over year, 20 to 40% quarter over quarter. And that's as a sector, not just BitF alone. BitF, for example, jumped their gross mining margins from 26% year over year to 82% year over year, and they'll only go higher. Their EBITDA margin, this is unheard of for companies this size. Their EBITDA margin was 93%. 93% versus negative 4% last year. So these companies, these Bitcoin mining companies, are literally printing money. Literally. And so, when you look at them, if you're bullish on crypto and you're bullish on the underlying, like I have friends who are just like Bitcoin maximalists. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But, let's say if you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you look at the returns of Bitcoin and you look at the chart of Bitcoin and the chart of the Bitcoin miners, they're like identical charts. Why would you not take the leveraged exposure, right?
No. I think the problem is they want to own the underlying asset. They want to own the coin.
No, exactly. But that's the
They
thing
want
is they
the
don't.
keys.
No, I agree with you. But I'm saying if you're looking for just outright upside, sure. If you're like a Bitcoin hodler who thinks it's going to $10 million, that's different.
I think for maxis, right? All the maxis, I don't think they care about the return. The main thing they care about is they own the stats. They own the
Then maybe
Satoshis.
maximalist was the wrong word to use. Maybe we'll say people who are very bullish on Bitcoin. Let's just say that, okay? People who are very bullish on Bitcoin in the short to medium term. Why not take the leveraged exposure that's returning 10x more? Why not take that leveraged exposure and, put your money there? That's my question. I think, in my opinion, Bitcoin mining stocks going into next year, once Bitcoin goes back into an uptrend, are going to explode across the board because Mara and Riot are trading at $5.5 billion, and whatever Riot's trading at $3 billion. I don't even remember what it's trading at, but off the top of my head, I know Mara's $5.5 billion. These companies are going to become $10-15 billion market caps quickly, and there's going to be a lot of them. There's not many sectors where you have this roadmap for revenue production, like 93% EBITDAs, revenues growing 500% year over year. Like these are stupid numbers for small and mid caps to be posting quarter after quarter. So, for people who are kind of exposed to equities and are also looking for exposure to crypto, don't be afraid to explore these Bitcoin mining stocks. To me, they're a lot safer in terms of downside risk than some of these meme shitcoins. They are very volatile, don't get me wrong. But I think they're safer in terms of downside volatility risk compared to a lot of shitcoins and altcoins that people trade, but they appreciate consistently. Like, go look at the Mara chart. Go look at the Riot chart. Go look at the BTBT and NCTY charts from last year. Look at the BitF chart this year. Like, all of these stocks just ramp up and they don't stop. So, for me, it's something that's really overlooked. Not enough people are trading these stocks, in my opinion.
I'm going to tell you exactly why, though. like coming as a crypto first guy, I came into crypto in 2016. All right, I didn't know shit about the equities market for at least 3 years until I started investing. And I think that's the exact same thing position in like maybe 75% of crypto traders are in. Nobody really cares about revenues. Nobody really cares about pretty much anything related to the equities market. And that's why they're not really seeing these opportunities. But I think it's something that you specifically can push on since you have such a big following in the equities market. Like people can recognize that your voice matters in crypto. So it's like a two-way street. If you start pushing like this opportunity more onto people in crypto, I think that more people will start to recognize it. But it's like just coming from me, like thinking about my perspective from 3 years ago, I didn't care about the stock market, anything to do with revenues or
Bill,
multiples.
I think you're making great points. Like from a retail side, I think you're right. But don't you agree that institutions, if their institutions are looking for exposure to crypto, wouldn't they prefer to buy SEC-backed, NASDAQ-listed securities that have
No,
exposure
no,
to crypto?
no. Even then, I talked to some people, so I'm gonna share an article. They want the coin directly, but most of them can't buy that, right? Because they have lost. That's why you saw a lot of inflows in the ETFs. Even though you get the futures ETF, that's what they can buy.
Look, but the rejection of the spot ETF makes these the best leverage exposure on the equity markets, right? I'm not talking about, on the crypto markets, but I'm saying from a leverage exposure perspective, these they just are the best place. If all of these companies, which they will, by the way, once they stop spending on CapEx, all of these companies are going to snapshot like elastic to 90+% EBITDA. All of them will. The only thing that's preventing any of them from hitting that 93 to 95% EBITDA as an entire sector is the CapEx and this expansion of more and more miners. Once these companies hit massive scale, the Wall Street will take notice because these numbers are not replicable. And I research fucking 20 different sectors all the time. Like I don't see these kind of numbers in any sector. Like these kind of where you're growing revenue 600% year over year. BitF, for example, their cost per Bitcoin last quarter, not last year, their cost per Bitcoin last quarter was 9,300. In one quarter, by scaling efficiency, they've reduced their cost per Bitcoin to 6,900. That's a 23% reduction in cost to mine in one fucking quarter. Like, that's mind-boggling. Like, what if they keep that pace? What if their cost
No,
of
but
Bitcoin gets...
after the halving, right, they make half of that.
But no, Gerg, it doesn't matter. If they can continue to drive down costs, raise efficiency, lower energy costs, continue to drive EBITDA, continue to add more miners, which will add more revenue. It's literally, they're money printing machines. These companies are literally money printing machines. It's just a matter of how much they spend of that on CapEx. I think there's going to be an explosion of these stocks next year, in my opinion. Like, unless the markets crash or there's a correction, like I think a lot of these names are going to blow up 1,000+% next year. A lot of them, not just one or two, in my opinion. But who knows?
So you're making the point that these guys are a verified, vetted company, went through the whole process of getting registered.
Exactly. It goes to Gerg's point about some institutions not being able to buy crypto, right? Certain institutions can't.
They're leveraging.
Yeah.
They're leveraging everything that crypto stands for, and they're making money by the second, right? We know where Bitcoin is going at some point, and we know that it might have a pullback, but they're essentially a very safe investment from the fact that they're not in crypto. They're not a liquidity pool sitting here.
The crypto experts, and you can probably tell me this too, Tech, but correct me if I'm wrong, they're going to be mining Bitcoin till 2160, right? Is that the number? Does anybody know if that's accurate?
It's 100+ years out. There's no doubt.
Okay, so let's say the end of Bitcoin mining is 100+ years out. What kind of growth runway does that give these companies?
No doubt.
If companies that are entirely focused on just fucking mining Bitcoin and they're going to mine it for another 100 years, and every year they add more capacity, increase margins, decrease cost per Bitcoin, decrease energy efficiency every fucking quarter, for the next 100 years,
They,
these companies will become behemoths. It's a totally overlooked
so
thing. They're
so
going to blow up. Like, I haven't been more convicted on like the near-term explosion of an industry than I am on Bitcoin mining stocks. They're going to go. They might,
no
and they're going
doubt,
to go
no doubt.
further percentage-wise than Bitcoin will probably ever. Even if Bitcoin went to
So
120K, that's a 100% move. That's it.
So a lot of it depends. A lot of it depends on obviously Bitcoin's growth. And Gurr, he made a point, right? The next halving, right? The next halving, the rewards are reduced, and there is a lot of big adoption coming into Bitcoin mining, right? So the complexity level, it starts getting harder and harder, and the payout per each terahash starts getting lower and lower to the point where right now it's at correct me if I'm wrong, Gurr, it's like at 5 right now. If it gets to 2, it's not even profitable because you have to pay for electricity. You have to have the
Yep.
latest mining equipment. But right now, if you got almost 2 years before the next halving. All these companies that are already invested and already mining and took advantage of when China pulled out and were reaping the rewards, they're killing it. The other half of it is though they're mining it, they have to keep the Bitcoin, right? If you're selling the Bitcoin at spot value, you're not going to be able to flex that Bitcoin growth. So it's definitely a
That's the
balance. But
beauty of it,
for
right? Is
Stocky,
they can allocate, they can sell as much as they need to each quarter to sustain capital expenditures for growth, and then hold the rest, right? Like if you have that
no doubt.
model, these companies are just pure cash flow machines that are just reinvesting all of their cash flow into holding, like to me, people don't even really get like how big that industry could be. It could be like you could see them fucking everywhere eventually. But yeah, I think it's just a creative exposure for people who are on the equity markets or focused on the equity markets who may not have, that much exposure to crypto. I think it's a great way to get exposure. And I think more and more institutions will use it as well because they'll realize it's a leveraged exposure. Hedge funds, especially, I think will use it.
No, those are all good points, and I feel it's a segue into mining. Mining at scale is a killer, man. That's one of the best business models out right now, especially get into if you can get into 10 petabytes as a small business starting up. That's minimum $1 million in revenue a year, minimum. But 10 petabytes is obviously an investment of close to 750K. Once you make that investment though, and you get your ROI in about 8 to 9 months, that's profit for the next 5 to 6 years, right? Of just Bitcoin being accumulated. And I don't want to bring it back a whole, but that's what X Mooney's about. But we're doing it as a community. But Riot, you're 100% on Riot. Riot was like $36 a share right now, but it also feeds into the retail mindset of there's a lot of poor people that are trying to make those 1000x multipliers, and a lot of people fall to the bias or the psyche of anything that's under a penny is my best shot, but they're not doing that research. Like it's interesting how Gurr, he had Safe Moon listed at the top. Safe Moon
No,
is the goal.
no, all of them are a joke.
So the reality is that the reason for that is that people, especially retail traders, don't think in percentage gain enough. They just look at like the dollars, and so like you see people all the time like on Twitter, especially, they're like, Bitcoin's going to 100 grand, dude. Like, go crazy, or Bitcoin's going to 150. It's like that's a little over 100% move. Some of these Bitcoin mining stocks do that in a week. Some of them do it in a session on a really good day. Like,
Right.
so, to me, it makes, if you, this, and again, I'm speaking to people who are Bitcoin, not necessarily maximalist, but people who are endlessly and immovably bullish on Bitcoin. This is a leveraged exposure. And it's one of the better leveraged exposures on the market because they're SEC protected securities, they're NASDAQ listed securities. Institutions can and most likely will get into them in a big way. even their business strategies are different. You know, some of them are holding every Bitcoin they mine. Some are selling some and holding some. Some are selling all of them. So, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, points. I think the whole sector needs a repricing, in my opinion. And I think there also needs to be better, you know, consideration of the growth of these companies. Again, we just talked about it, 100+ year runway, right? To mine Bitcoin. And all of these companies are just going to get bigger and have more capacity.
Years left. So by 2040, everything else is pretty much negligible. So I do think the timeline for Bitcoin is a little bit shorter, but there's nothing to say that these miners can't dig their, you know, claws into some other areas as well once they have the setup and once they have the experience and the knowledge. I think that a lot of these Bitcoin mining plays have the additional value of potential pivots in the future and, you know, a lot of flexibility in what they do. What do you think, Stock Talk Weekly?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's flexibility, right? They don't have to be focused on Bitcoin. I just call them Bitcoin miners as a sector because most of them are mining Bitcoin, but or at least trying to. But you know, it's becoming a fleshed out sector. Like, you know, even my watch list, on my Bitcoin mining watch list, I literally have like 30 names. So it's becoming a fleshed out industry very quickly. You don't see this kind of rapid, you know, going public in an emerging sector for no reason. Like, even if you look at SPACs last year, like, you know, they went most of the, you know, at least the key ones that went public were in a handful of emerging industries, and there weren't even that many. Like, even the space and satellite companies, you know, there was what, a handful, maybe 10, maybe even less than that. That's just off the top of my head, but I'm saying, like, we've seen 30 plus Bitcoin mining stocks go public in the course of the last 2 years. I just think there's tradable potential because there's so many different angles you can look at these companies from. Like, I don't know. I've been rotating in and out of these names. Like, I rode Mara and Riot. I was in Mara and Riot last year. We alerted them at like $3 and $4. Mara's $70 now, right? Like, I didn't hang on to it. Obviously, I wish I did, but like, we've traded in and out of these names. We traded out of Mara and Riot. Then I got back into BTBT and NCTY at their bottoms. They blew up. You know, then I rotated into Miji and BitF. I recently got out of Miji, still have a little bit, and I'm big in BitF. Like, I'm just going to keep rotating as these fundamental cases get fulfilled. And I rotate into a new set of names that are undervalued. I just do that over and over again. I mean, that's all I do on my people who follow my account. Like, that's all I do. I just look for like gaps in fundamental value and just buy the stock and wait.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And then the other aspect of it that I feel the world isn't expecting, right? Like, Bitcoin right now is at 60. People think, all right, it'll go up a few more thousand, a few more, whatever, 100,000. You have to look at the landscape, right? You have a country that's adopted it. You have other countries that are looking at adopting it. It's a currency that's traded 24/7, available 365. And even when the halving comes, like Gur made he alluded to, what people aren't expecting is another hyper acceleration of Bitcoin, right? There's only 21 million tickets, you know, that will ever be, you know, minted, and a lot of those have been lost in the wild, in the blockchain, the lost wallets. So, you know, like this 60,000, I think Wolf had mentioned it. This is a baby still, though. It's a tough pill to swallow as an investor, right? That, hey, if you want one hole, you have to pay 60,000. That seems like a lot. But if you believe in like I was mentioning earlier, what crypto is doing and understanding how instrumental, and it's the foundation of all of crypto, right? Like, you have three cryptocurrencies that are essentially traded everywhere, right? And the three are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And then everything else is following. You have a lot of them that are being, you know, invested by big business. I see in our lifetime where Bitcoin is going to rush past the 100,000 numbers into the millions, because the bigger players are going to get involved, and then it's going to come back full circle to the Riot Winstons and the Maras, where they'll be holding 10,000, 20,000 of these on their books, and that repricing is gonna occur. There is no, I don't believe there's any other market on this planet outside of energy that is as liquid and as profitable as mining is, right? These guys are making literally money by the millisecond, and they're watching it happen. So everything Stock just said, I'm 100% for. The only difference is people who are bullish on Bitcoin will invest in other things. Maximalists, like Gur's saying, they don't give a damn. It's all about stacking sats, stacking those Bitcoin, and they're 100% in, and they don't believe in what's been working for the last 200 years, 100 years, simply because of the transparency, the patterns of what has happened in the stock market, the crashes, like they use a GM for an example, right? GM had a stock that was rolling for a long time. It crashes, they shut it down and stand up a new one. That can happen in Bitcoin. So that's what that maxi mentality is all about, which Gur was touching on. And one last thing, I want to stand corrected on something because this is recorded. When I said SafeMoon was on the top, I meant on the top of his list.
No, it's on
That.
top. He's very, very bullish for Safe Moon. He sold his
Heck no,
Bitcoin and bought
heck
Safe Moon,
no.
guys. He's very, very
Negative,
bullish.
negative.
I was gonna say, that's Gur's real account, right?
I mean, look at the name, right? It's a safe and moon. It will be safe on the moon,
Man.
so
That's right.
how can it go down?
And that also feeds to, right, like and I like educating people on this thing, right? Stocks that are under a penny, stocks is a whole different ball game than tokens that are under a penny, right? You don't know what you're up against when you see something that has a quadrillion supply or a quintillion supply. So just seeing at those numbers, you have to do more research than just looking at how many zeros it's knocking off. And I feel SafeMoon onboarded a lot of people because it was really easy when that thing was going up and they're quote unquote knocking out zeros. But when you see what you're up against, even if they're burning on a daily basis, the world economy cannot house a SafeMoon sitting at a penny. It's just not possible. So you have to really educate yourself on the market cap, on the total circulating supply, max supply, and then even compare that to how many shares of that stock are outstanding and are circulating. But what Stock is saying, if you look at any mining company that's out there, those charts are moving very closely to what Bitcoin is doing, and it's a safer investment. Like there's no let me pull out the liquidity, let me shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
How it's happening a lot in shitcoin land and in decentralized land, but there's also a lot of promising projects, and you have to really do that research. Don't just ape in because you saw the advertisement on PooCoin or
Exactly.
you're in some Discord that's telling you to just jump into this. Always do the research. See if they have a white paper and make sure it's not a copied white paper from some other project.
And the spelling mistakes, like Squid Games, they had this white paper, but it was full of spelling mistakes. Like a 6-year-old wrote that. So I agree what Tech said about zeros. It's just like the ODC. There's so many shitty stocks in ODC that are like 5 or 7 zeros, and
Dude, I
people buy
personally
them.
know people that aped that squid shit and got fucked. Like
I mean, bro,
know
if you buy something that you can't sell, like that's a honeypot. So that's a honeypot type of. Let's not go into that. But I agree.
I like the shade,
Bro, what
girl.
about popcorn?
I like the shade that you just threw
Dude,
over here.
when that squid token came out, I had a buddy that came to me and he was like, "Bro, the show was like Netflix's most popular show ever." He's like, "There's gonna be so many people buying this coin, bro." He's like, "It's gonna go to the moon." He's like, "I'm gonna put 5K in it right now," and that was like the day before it just tanked. And so
I mean, it wasn't that bad, right? Someone lost like 150K on that, but with that,
that's people need to know. Like, there's shit in crypto the same way there's shit in the stock market too.
Everywhere.
No, I think
dog
crypto's
shit in
worse,
both
right?
markets.
Crypto is worse. Like ODC is a bit more regulated compared to crypto, but same thing. People go and look at the stocks in ODC that have like 4 or 5 zeros. They're like, oh, if this goes to a penny, I'll make 50 million. I'm like, first of all, it will be worth more than Apple. It makes no sense. Like SafeMoon to be 1 cent, or even SHIB. So if SHIB becomes 1 cent, it would be worth 3 or 4 billion, no trillion. That's worth more than Bitcoin. So
can we go back to Squid Games real quick? Because I just want to say, for people who bought Squid Games, the show is about you either winning all the money or losing all the money. Why would you invest in that? Like, it's just like, I expect a rug pull. I just expect you to lose all your money.
Crypto is healing, man. Crypto is healing.
No, I think Squid Games was doing okay, but people like CNBC, Wall
Mhm.
Street Journal, they
Mhm.
put out articles saying, a token called Squid Games is up 50,000% on the
For
last
people
week.
who don't know what we're talking about, I pinned it in the tweet above. You can see like what happened. If you don't,
No, but
people, I'm
I
just
think
saying for
the
people in the
reaction was
audience who
the
don't know
funniest
about Squid.
one.
So real quick on that honeypot,
Mhm.
right? And a lot of investors are really quick to just jump in, right? And this isn't to say that it can't. What I'm about to tell you can't be undone. But if you think it's a honeypot, all right, you want to put your money in, do a small buy and then try to sell that. If you can't sell that small buy, don't go in with the big money,
No.
right? So
Even without
that's
buying, right? There are some websites that you just put in the contract, and they tell you whether it's a honeypot or not. So you don't have to put your own capital at risk.
that, and he's right as well. He's right as
Guys, yeah, you
well.
got to look at the
But
liquidity of the pool, not the market cap. Like it's not like
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so
but
perfect
even
example is
yeah.
Pumpcoin. Pumpcoin has a $6 billion market cap. The liquidity is 50 cents right now. So
isn't your whole account in that? I know.
A hundred, a
Yeah.
100% into what Gerb said. You can manipulate the liquidity pool. Like they could mint 1 million tokens and put one token in the liquidity pool, right? So and just back
Mhm.
it up with $10, and the calculator is going to calculate some insane market cap. So it's more than just as what's at surface level. And one of the key things is follow groups like Wolf Financial,
Mhm.
follow Stacky, follow Tech, follow Dave Goxstein. These people are you got to follow circles that are going to put more information out than just the hey go buy this for no
And
reason.
you know who
You
has
know,
a lot of information? Rue right there. Rue
shout
can
out to
tell he
Rue.
can
Shout
tell
out
you a
to
lot of the very basic information of crypto and make you understand it. I know he told some people about doing DD in the liquidity pool and things of that nature
Doink,
when it comes
the
to
Logan Paul scam.
what?
Yeah, Doink was Logan Paul.
how many of the local Paul scams?
Oh yeah, every week there's a new crypto one. Even now, like Drake Bell, he like was pumping some crypto. A new video about CoffeeZilla. Even Save the Kids. So like, don't trust random people. Even they have 1 million followers. Like Save the Kids. Do you guys remember
Right.
that?
Mhm.
The best thing was who was the one? Was it the guy who did like Whip Nene?
With Nene,
God,
the
the
dance.
the
No.
song.
Soldier Boy. So Soldier Boy
Soldier
was
Boy,
paid
yeah.
50,000, but he forgot to remove that. He posted a screenshot of him getting paid in the same. Like, he had to hide that, but he showed people he got paid. But he said he didn't get paid. So pretty dumb guy.
So all I have to say about this topic is a lot of people who are trying to ape in and get used to, or just trying to make that, change your life money. At the very least, what you want to do first is learn how to read these contracts. Like, it's such a huge portion of trading, but a lot of people, you just kind of figure, oh, you think of it like the stock market's on an exchange, um, and you just think it's the same process. But again, any like we stated earlier, anybody can make this coin. And look at these ridiculous names. Like, there's nothing backing this besides sentiment. So don't just let your euphoria lead you and make you think like, oh, I'm about to be a billionaire in like 5 seconds. That's not how to probably lose your money in 5 seconds, if anything. So it's good to just review these smart contracts because they'll tell you a lot. You don't have to vet or anything. You can literally tell if they're gonna bullshit you because when they're holding large sums of the supply and it's not locked, they're not looking for longevity. So whether it goes up high or not, you don't want because a lot of people don't realize, yeah, you can make money. And I know I'm a degenerate. I'm a shitcoin hunter. Like I don't care, but I understand my limitations and I have boundaries. So when you feed these type of scams, quote unquote scams, all you're doing is influencing the future of the market. They're going to see that this is a market here. They're going to continue to buy these BS coins, which again, I'm not against it because it's changed a lot of people's lives. I understand. But if you want to make sure that it's secure, you review these smart contracts to add a little bit more security on your end so you don't just lose your money and just give it to them. So take time to learn, look it up on YouTube. It's really easy. Ask questions about the people who are up here. I'm sure they can run you through. But yeah, take time to understand how to vet these contracts, and it'll save you a lot of time. and a lot of
But
money.
in the crypto space, you will get drugged no matter what. If you buy enough coins, even if you buy something shit by a billionaire, do you guys remember the Mark Cuban one, Titan?
Oh, good times. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Titan was pumped by Mark Cuban, and that was offering you 1 million APY. And people spent like 40, 50 million on that. And overnight, it went from $40 to zero.
Gerg, stop hiding
So,
my replies on your tweets because you're scared that I'm going to ratio you. Stop hiding my replies on your tweets.
you L both, no ratio. But yeah, okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's bring it back around. So, I do. Maybe we'll do another few minutes, and then we'll move into some wrap up because I have another space at 8 tonight, and I want to potentially eat something
Yeah,
in
Wolf,
between.
how do you speak all day?
I was about to say, how do you have any space to sleep?
Well, no, I sleep pretty well, and I don't know. I hate writing. I love speaking to people, so I got the like ideal job. Like everybody else is doing this for free, and I get paychecks, so it's kind of lit. With that being
Thank
said,
you for flexing on us,
also,
sir. I
what'd you
said
say?
thank. Oh, hold on. Thank you for flexing on us, sir. Subtle flex, we love it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, Wolf's the
no
biggest
problem.
baller on Fintuit.
You, Gert.
Pulling in
Come
Yeah,
minimum,
on,
thank
brother.
you
pulling in
for
minimum
letting him
wage.
borrow your jet for the
It's
weekend, Wolf.
KP, bro. KP is the biggest.
Yeah, you better get that wash for you return
I
it.
will. Can I also
Uh,
buy you a new Rolls Royce?
I'll think about it. I'll get back
Yeah,
to you.
okay.
We'll circle back. Okay, so also a couple more people have DM'd me and asked where to find the recordings of this space and all the other spaces. So just so you know, it's the link in my bio, and if you click in it, it has links to Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, wherever else you want. I also post them directly to the timeline here. So as long as you're following the Wolf account, you will see those show up, and they will come up on your timeline. With that being said, let's move back to it and make sure that you're following all my speakers up here. Again, thank you so much to everybody that came up for an hour and a half already. This has been fantastic. I love talking about crypto. I mean, if anybody's unfamiliar, my main portfolio is my growth portfolio. 52% of it right now is crypto, mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I definitely play around with a little bit of everything: Doge, Sheep, Cosmos, Atom, Bitcoin Cash, whatever else there is. I like skin in the game and I'm having fun with it at the same time while trying to be educated. Okay, so Stock Talk Weekly, my wonderful co-host, appreciate you being up here. Is there any other topics that we haven't touched on yet tonight that you wanted to dig into?
No, I think we covered a little bit of everything. Obviously we can do more of these going forward. We can, do more of these to, touch on more specific topics. I know with our fundamental analysis spaces I was talking to you about, ow, sorry, I just hit my foot. With our fundamental analysis spaces I was talking to you about, I know that I said I want to touch on specific topics. So I think going forward, maybe touching on specific topics like, we could do one on, just the top 10 by market cap, and then we can do one on like any crypto over a billion in market cap, and like we can do different like themes like that, I think, and then just get talking about specific opportunities in crypto. I think that would be good too.
Dude, I want you to get on like Brian Shannon and like a bunch of those other technical analysis people and do a
I,
crypto technical analysis one.
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be
so
good.
I actually have Brian Shannon. I have Brian Shannon coming on a space tomorrow at 12 p.m. EST, very like last minute. Just got back to me last night. It's gonna be Brian Shannon and then Ben from Pattern Profits, two big boys in the technical analysis industry. They'll be coming on. So maybe I'll have them chart some cryptos, and then maybe I'll get them on another space. You got to warm these guys up. It's like every other week. I hit Brian Shannon, I hit Jonah in the DMs. I'm like, hey, you want to slide on a Twitter space? I don't know. It's an art form. Okay, Rue, let's go to you, and then let's move to some wrap up.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to since we're talking about opportunities, I just wanted to mention two I guess you could call it industries within the blockchain space that people should focus on, and I think domains and pay to earn. And I think a lot of people, as this becomes more mainstream, and I know we talked about gaming, but just playing to earn money by playing the game is a booming industry, and it's starting to get noticed um, by people who don't generally play games, and that's another opportunity for you to make passive income as well. And again, I have a lot of plays that I will be posting um, around those type of areas in crypto. so you can kind of get your feet wet. It's free to play it, and you can find better ones, but at least start off with one that's free, so you have to put up an investment first, and then you can see if this is something that you can do for longevity. And also with crypto domains, this is basically your Web 3.0 identifier, I guess you could say. It's a IP address, a human readable version of your wallet, right? So as that becomes more adopted, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with ENS, which is basically Ethereum's naming service. Everybody who used their service and kind of helped them, expand within their network, they were airdropped, I think, no lower than $5,000. And this is just
No,
because
20,000 for free.
no, it was the
It
lowest. The
depends how
lowest
many
was
you.
5,000. But I'm
Oh,
sure a
okay.
lot of people made a lot more. Now you're right, Gary. I'm sure a lot of people made a bank off of that. But that was just because I'm using the service
Were
and I
you
own
in
a
though?
domain
Did
name.
you have your own domain?
Nah, man, I didn't. I didn't
You
because
missed
you know what's
that.
so funny?
I
I
missed it
literally
too.
told
No,
my
you
I
missed
friend.
missed it
I
too.
out.
literally told my friend. We were literally talking about this. I was like, "This is basically crypto when it started," and then like a week later, they did that, and I was so pissed because Uniswap did it during DeFi summer, and a whole bunch of people made money because they became fully decentralized. But
All right, I'm
um,
gonna throw out some alpha here for everybody. Go get a MetaMask and do a swap on MetaMask ASAP. I think they're gonna do the same thing as Uniswap.
yeah, that's I expect it too, but that's very I put it this way, it doesn't hurt to do it. You will make money regardless, so it doesn't hurt to do it.
It's so early. It's so early, and the reason for these things is that the world is also moving to these decentralized agnostic organizations. You hear them called DAOs, and that's what allowed ENS to do what it did. And MetaMask, Bill is right. He is giving you guys some key alpha. The word in town is that something similar is going to happen. And this is only possible because we're really early in this space. You have to understand, like, you feel like, oh, it's millions and billions of people that are out here. I think it was last year, there was only 100,000 Ethereum wallets that were actually using the dApps. So you have to, like, there's way more investors than 100,000, but people who are actually interacting with these things, just do it. I mean, I think it cost me I think it was like $300 to get an ENS, and I just happened to push it out to the max 10 years. And I woke up one morning and I had 20K dropped in, and that's because these are cash cows that are trying to organize and get around a lot of the government constraints. But he's not. Well, Bill just gave you some key. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat it for everybody. It's literally like if they do it, basically what happens is if you use their service, they will airdrop you their token if they decide to bring out a token.
Yeah, and it never hurts just to get started. If you're in this audience and you don't have something like a MetaMask yet, trust me, super, super simple to set up. Really easy, makes life a lot easier if you want to connect to OpenSea for things like NFTs. Pretty sure that the creation of the MetaMask is free. If you can't figure it out, hop to YouTube. A lot of videos explaining it, and why not get in early, right? Like, why not create one of these things while it's still free, while majority of people aren't there yet? Be an innovator. At the end of the day, I think that if you're on Twitter Spaces listening to these things, that's probably your mindset is that you want to get ahead. You want to be there before the next big thing blows up. So do the groundwork. Even if you're not going to put in money, get the domain, get the mass, whatever it is, do the groundwork and you'll be set. With that being said, going to move into a little bit of wrap up because I'm sure this will probably take about 15, 20 minutes. And then I'll have a little bit of time for some Chinese food before our big 8 p.m. EST space. With that being said, Bill, any final closing thoughts?
Yo, Wolf, this was an awesome space. This is actually one of my favorite ones that I've done so far with y'all. I have nothing more other than I'm launching an NFT newsletter in a few weeks. If you want to go read about more about NFTs and daily news, click the link in my bio. But other than that, hope everybody has a good night.
100%. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to that. All right, Evan, Stock Market News going to you. And also to everybody, Stock Market News hosts a ton of spaces with me as well. Make sure that you are following him. He is planning with Stock Talk Weekly a massive space for this Friday. that's going to have some really big speakers on it. Go ahead, Evan.
Before I get into that, can you quickly just go give me the 20 seconds on the Google Calendar quickly as part of my wrap up?
Yeah, 100%. We touched on this a little bit earlier, and I have about 30 DMs to get to, which I'm so excited. But essentially, if you're not already on the Google Calendar, now is the time to go ahead and DM me. All you have to do is send me your email and ask me on the Google Calendar. That way, you'll have one click toggle to see all of the spaces that I do every single week. Spaces with Stock Talk Weekly, with Kirk Gavin, with Stock Market News, with Stacky Robinson, with Christine Duke. All these people are constantly on my spaces and so many more. I think over 40 different unique people have been on my spaces over the last 2 weeks. And there was 11 this week, maybe 12 now. And I'm sure I'll keep them going. Again, this is literally my whole life. I'm blessed. I'm having fun. I just get to sit here and host. So if you want to be on that spaces calendar, just DM me right now and I'll add you to it. How'd that do, Evan?
Fantastic. Honestly, I'm pushing you to do it again just because I think it's one of the most valuable things that we've created. So you can send me a DM as well in this. Just include your email with it and we'll get you right on it. Besides that, Wolf, this space was amazing as always. First, make sure you check out all the speakers up here. Fantastic. This was something that we definitely got to do again. I would love to be a part of, and definitely. And then thrown on top of that, make sure you follow Wolf Financial and Gav, which is Wolf's personal account. He's putting on all these spaces all the time, super high quality, getting really knowledgeable speakers on a wide variety of topics. So just honestly a must follow if you enjoy spaces, and clearly you do. You're in here. Also, a big shout out to Stock Talk Weekly. We got a nice big spaces coming that we're putting together on Friday. Hopefully we can see all you guys there.
Appreciate you, brother. 100%. Excited about to hit 34K here. And you know what? It's all about these round numbers, and they don't really mean anything. But at the end of the day, it means that there is a large group of people that feel like they're benefiting from what we're doing here on the internet. And that's what means the most. Okay, Duke, going to you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. What I'll say is, I don't want to plug anything of myself. I would just say follow Wolf, follow Gav, follow all of these people up here, Stock Market News, Evan. I think all the spaces that they put on every single day are top tier. I don't think anyone else does it like them. So give them a follow and have a great night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on. All right, Gerg.
Buy CRO.
Not financial advice.
Buying state. Gerg only gives financial advice.
He's Canadian. Doesn't have to worry about the SEC.
Yeah, everyone, Stock Talk and Wolf are my advisors. If they tell me, I just buy it. Simple as
Well,
that.
damn. Well, now my performance is looking much better.
No,
All right.
in terms of what, Wolf? What performance?
Oh, well, your performance, since I'm apparently your advisor and you're doing good. So I'm just going to say that's my performance, by the transitive properties. Perfect. All right, Christine.
All good over here.
Christine, I'm looking forward to our NFT space on Thursday with Benzinga. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, super excited. I'm super duper excited for Thursday.
Hell yeah. Gonna have some big players on there. Should be a good time. All right, Stacky Robinson.
So all I wanted to say was we started from the bottom, now we're here. So I remember when you started these spaces, and I see how much you grown, like we started around the same time, right?
Yeah, we did.
Are you
Yeah,
trying
so
to make all of us cry right now or something? What's your
I
problem?
always don't I always do when I say Stock Talk, he was in there when I said was talking about PV. But
Yeah.
Wolf, same
Dude.
thing with Wolf.
Yes.
He
Yes.
started with what? When I met you, you had like a couple thousand, 1,000 followers, and look at you now. Hey, but yeah, I want to say that, and also about crypto, and about we talked about the Centraland, we talked about the metaverse, we talked about crypto. We didn't get a chance to really touch on NFTs too much, but you guys, we are at the beginning. You want to educate yourself in these areas. You want to be educated in these areas, not only for yourself, for the future, for your children, for the next generation, because you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared for your children. You want to be prepared for everybody. So educate yourself. Don't just sit back and be ignorant just because it's something that you might not agree with. So educate yourself, and we're here early. I hate saying that, but we are here early, and yeah, there's that. Also, one more thing. Go ahead and follow the OTC Club and Stockiana's. Two of our, me and Christine, the OTC Club. Stockiana's an all-female trading community. Hey, ladies, how you doing? Go ahead and follow me. I'm very pro women in this space. All right, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Love it. Let's get down to 10K and all the Stockianas through the roof. And I agree with you that we are extremely early. For me, I think I aped into a couple of NFTs, but at the end of the day, whatever it was, $500, $1,000, I have some, I have a wallet, I am holding several. I think that it was all a very well worth it learning opportunity. And again, like you don't have to come in with tens of thousands of dollars. These things, you don't have to buy a Bored Ape off the bat, but it never hurts to have a little bit of skin in the game, and can't be scared of opportunity these days. Opportunity is everything. All right, Rue, going to you.
Oh, I thought I used mine up already. My bad. Okay, so I just wanted to say some close things for myself, just to for anybody that this relates to. Um, for me, when I first started trading, period, was at the beginning of this year. So my back, like my story with my family, coming from where I came from, I had no type of influence around learning any of this, and all this is brand new to me for this year. And I just hope that speaks to somebody who's trying to learn about this and is a little bit hesitant to get into it because they think it's overwhelming. There are no experts in this space at all. There's a lot of knowledgeable people, but it's so early, there are no experts. So be okay to learn, be okay to ask questions because we're all still trying to educate each other. And like, it's not hard. Once you apply yourself, like, I've probably been doing crypto in general, like everything regarding crypto for about 6 months. And I feel like, just being diligent and persistent and getting that information and staying organized and trying to keep up because again this space, but there will always be something that somebody doesn't know, so try to stay ahead and learn stuff that people haven't learned yet. Like you said, be innovative and take the lead. So if it's a growing industry that you see opportunity there, be the expert there. You don't have to be the expert on everything crypto, but be an expert somewhere. And you don't need money to actually make money because a lot of this space, the beauty of it is we can send our money anywhere we please, right? So I've made a lot of money by just helping folks, like just being able to assist them in areas or just giving them information that they didn't know and being a part of things, which then projected me into making money from that money that they sent me from helping them. So like it's open for everybody, anybody who wants to be a part of this new change of command, this new world order that we're about to create. Like it's all us. It's all on us at the end of the day. And we have to be the ones to lead it. So it doesn't matter what you contribute as long as you contribute something. And trust me, you'll benefit from it.
100%. Yeah, great points. You either run the day or the day runs you. All right, Tech, going to you.
All right, I guess I don't know if I'm the last one, but just want to touch on something Gur said earlier. Any Joe Schmo can stand up a token, do your research. But over here at X Mooney, we're legit people, legit project. 21 billion supply, only 4 billion circulated, 7% reflections. Follow me, follow the XM account. We've given close to $15,000 over the last 7 weeks. So even if you have no money to start up, just show up. I think yesterday, 40% of the audience ended up winning. And that's not what it's all about. That's the marketing side. We're building a true culture, a true community. We're building it day by day. And similar to what Riot Winston's doing on the stock market, we're just doing it in a decentralized manner. We're growing the hash rate by any means. Follow me, follow my people, and good things will happen. But Gur is right. Anyone can stand up a token. Learn to separate the real from the fake because you can lose a lot of money in shitcoin land and decentralized land.
Love it, love it. I feel like we can make like a good like song with some lyrics from like all the stuff we got going on here at the back. The real from the fake from the real. Down to,
That's,
yeah, I don't know. It
go
brings me back
ahead.
to Eminem.
I hear you.
Somebody came on one of my spaces last week on an NFT space,
Mhm.
and they did a full rap for like 30 seconds.
Yo,
It was
that was
incredible.
actually
I
fire.
remember.
It was
I
fun.
remember that. Who
Oh
was
man, I
that?
You,
missed that.
can I say something? I actually made a crypto rap about
You
a
did?
Oh
coin that I was
no, do
making.
it, do it, do it.
I
Okay,
don't
go
remember them
ahead.
lyrics, man. I'm not about to expose myself like that.
No,
But
yeah. Oh man.
I was literally in the
All right.
spaces rapping about the coin. It was so funny.
So can I just say
I love
one
it.
more thing before we go?
Yeah, we still got Stock Talk Weekly. We saved
Okay.
the best for last too. But yeah, go
Yeah,
for it
he
real
could go
quick.
after me. No, but
Ladies
Rue, I
first,
just
go
want to
for it.
ladies first, thank you. But Rue has a project called the Cloud House. I think he forgot to mention it. But it's an NFT project that's just getting started. They just opened up the Discord. I mean, the artist of the project is really talented. And if you don't know anything about clout, I'm definitely a clout chaser. I'm one of the first 100 people in their Discord. But if you want to be a clout chaser, go ahead and follow Rue and follow the Cloud House. Yeah.
I'm really not trying to
Love
take
it.
up too much time with. I'm so sorry, but I just want to add a little context to the to why we're doing the project, because we're focused on kind of the community aspect around blockchain, and just building brands. And a lot of people who are coming into this space, they need identity, and we want to make sure that we build the future of NFTs or anything. A lot of what's going to power what we're doing is social tokens and NFTs, which again relates back to someone's identity, whether it be for their business, their brand, their movement, etc. Right? And communities are a very big contributor to the growth and development of these brands and communities. So we're actually building a platform, later after we achieve all the things beforehand, to help benefit, and give more value to communities. So, yeah, please support us. It'd be great, because we want to make sure that we contribute to the space, and that's kind of just my dream. I just want to be a part of the pioneering and actually, help people build a future here.
100%. Okay, saved some of the best closing remarks that you can ever hear for last, and that is Stock Talk Weekly. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, buddy, thanks for having me. I know that me and Wolf are going to be co-hosting a few in the future more often, and me and Evan, Stock Market News, are going to be doing the same thing. Me and Stock Market News actually have a space coming up this Friday with Guy Adami and Dan from CNBC, and they are going to just kind of be talking to us about retail trading and the explosion of retail trading in the market. It's kind of ironic that we got this set up. Me and Evan got this set up today because I had a tweet earlier today about it would be cool if CNBC would feature retail traders. So, this might be an intersection of that. And hopefully we can, get these guys on regularly and do something with them to where, some of that media exposure is coming to, maybe some smaller stocks or more speculative stocks that retail trade. So I think it'll be a very interesting thing. Be sure to tune into that. That'll be 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Friday. But outside of that, I follow all the people up here. You guys should follow them all as well. Christine, Gav, Wolf Financial, Stock Market News, Gergavin. We got Stacky Robinson. We got Bill Spackman. We got Tech and Rue, who I just followed. Just gave you both a follow as well. So follow all these speakers up here. They all know what they're talking about. They all talk about different things. The best part about Twitter is being able to get a diverse range of opinions and information in one place. And following a diverse range of people will do that for you. So follow all the speakers. Thanks, Wolf, for having me. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love it, man. And I think I'm going to be on that Friday space as well. I'm supposed to be traveling, but I don't think I'm going to leave till 11:30, 12. And so hopefully I'll be able to come on for like the first 30 to 60 minutes because I'd love to chat with those guys. We had Guy Adami on the space back when Evan and I were actually in person together in the New York Stock Exchange, and Guy Adami came on our space. That was a pretty cool opportunity. And then Dan also followed me recently, so it'd be great to have him on. Cool. So that I think wraps it up for tonight. I will do my best to get this recording up by tomorrow at the latest. Make sure that you are following so that you see that post. You can also subscribe if you would like to the YouTube or to the Spotify, and you will get alerts from that as well. I also have a newsletter. It's a 3 to 5 minute read once a week. You can check that out in the bio. With that being said, so grateful to all the speakers and the listeners who came in. I don't think this works if we're not all in it together. With crypto, I think that there's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot of maligned goals and sometimes, scams and things like that. But when we have 700 people who are putting our heads together, putting our resources together, I think we can find the right opportunities and join together to create financial freedom. So, with that being said, wishing you all health, wealth, success. I will be back on Spaces in 1 hour for a massive space that I do every single Tuesday night at 8 p.m. EST. Stock Market News, Kirk Gavin, and Stock Talk Weekly will all be on that. I'm Gob Blacksburg. I will be running that. Bullish Rippers will be on that. We usually get about 1,000 people on that. So feel free to join up if you want to hear market sentiment and all of the rest of our stock picks for the week. All right, take care, y'all. See you in an hour.